Have you had enough, Kanye? You had enough yet? I venture to say if you haven't had enough at this point, you're not gonna. Go on, hop up on your soapbox. Ba-da-da-da. Welcome back to that soapbox. What a mess. Speaking of mess, Kanye West. Well, welcome back to the Soapbox, y'all. There's some stuff I want to talk about today. I see in this country, we got a real issue here, right? We got an issue where celebrity and what we think of as the responsibilities of celebrities is very peculiar. And I am a little sick of having to spend so much of my time and energy and thinking considering him and his affairs and his life and his celebrity. And to me, that sucks. That just sucks. So anyway, here we are. And let's dive in. I'm sure everybody out there knows about these tweets that Kanye put out being just openly anti-Semitic and violent and threatening. And I think now people are starting to maybe recognize that he has been showing signals of this kind of thing all along, and that we see a person here who, I see a person who's completely obsessed with his status as a celebrity. So you know what I would like to see more of? I would like to see more people who are kind of like on the top and have been on the top for a while go down to the bottom and kind of start over, start cycle over. And I think that maybe when you can learn to put yourself aside a little bit, you start doing a little more in terms of service toward others. And I find that very important. So not that all celebrities don't do service toward others, and not that Kanye hasn't contributed, but, giving money is not what I mean. Reducing, helping others to just giving money to organizations or moving money around is not what I mean here. What I'm talking about is real deal service. And how do we help each other? How do we provide each other with food, comfort, shelter, care? I would like to see more of this, especially from people who've been on the top for a long time. A long time ago, Kurt Vonnegut wrote a book called God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater. Great book. Check it out. It's about a rich man who gives away his fortune, and everybody calls him crazy for it. So, we got a situation here where, like, the poor want to be rich and famous, and the rich and famous want to stay famous and rich. And that's kind of, I think, eating away at us from the inside, as we see that celebrities think they can just do, say, whatever, even if it's violent or even if it's hurtful or even if it's thoughtless or whatever it is. I think we need to recognize that social media is a drug. It's a hell of a drug, and it works on your brain. And Twitter is I don't think that Twitter is a very good idea in general. I know it's how news travels, and I know it's how people talk and all, but it's not so much like the town square, is it? It's more like a place where like a coliseum, where we go and we watch people go to battle. And it's just gross. And so I see a celebrity out there who's made a lot of money by branding himself to a lot of people who are not as rich, famous, or as in a privileged state as he is. Maybe if you've been a celebrity for a while, if you've been rich for a while, why don't you try like doing something really challenging and letting all that go and maybe fading away? And hey, Kanye, maybe it's time to like kind of fade away for a little bit. Maybe it's time to kind of get out of the spotlight and stop being such a celebrity and stop making your life is about branding, isn't it? It's about advertising. It's about shoes. It's about selling shit to people who are poorer than you. Maybe we could pull some of our attention away from Kanye and put it toward Sam Henshaw. And he's got this song here. How high is high enough? How far is far enough? How much is too much? When is enough enough? How rich is rich enough, huh? How strong is strong enough? I'm scared of losing touch. So when is enough enough? Man, that's a good song. I especially like that he says, I'm scared of losing touch. Thank you for admitting that, Sam. And when I hear that, I go, oh, that's me. It's not about black or white, right? It's not about, this guy's Nigerian, he's British. And I resonate with what he's saying, because I think, when is enough? Have you had enough, Kanye? You had enough yet? I venture to say if you haven't had enough at this point, you're not gonna. And this is perhaps part of the sickness that's eating away at us in not just this country, but starting to spread globally. And so, we got to start asking ourselves, when is enough? And once you've had enough, what do you do? Do you just maintain it at that level? You reach a certain celebrity status, you get 18 million followers or whatever it is, and then you're just going to maintain that for the rest of your life? First off, sounds like a boring life. Second, I'm a little like, I don't think that's healthy. Nothing in the universe works like that. Everything has a period of ebb and flow. So this notion that you're going to get rich and stay rich, or this notion that you're going to get famous and stay famous, I think we should see from more celebrities and more people, not even just celebrities, but people who are what we would consider at the top, giving things up. So, at first it pisses me off and I want to say, well, cancel Kanye, and Kanye, step away for a while and go be somebody else. Or are you so entangled that you can't change yourself? You couldn't be of service to humanity now because you've for so long been of service to Kanye. And I'm not talking about philanthropic efforts or any of that, but if a person is outwardly displaying this sort of Nazism, it's like, yikes. These are our celebrities, right? These are the ones we helped elevate to that status. So we also need to not just look at them, but look at us. Which brings me to, if we're going to talk about this, it doesn't do to just hate on Kanye, does it? There's that great quote that's attributed to many different people, but hate cannot extinguish hate. Only love can do that. And I know it sounds cliche, but we gotta think of it this way. If you turn Kanye into just an other that you can just hate and say that's the problem, well, he's the problem. Well, he's showing us our own problems. He's showing us that we're addicted to these kinds of thought patterns and these sorts of lineages of hatred or vitriol or violence or poison. And that not only will we love that, we'll love the drama of him wearing White Lives Matter shirts and all that bullshit. What I see is a person who perhaps has just become completely entangled in their celebrity persona. So I'm not saying you need to go meditate on a mountaintop or something. I'm saying we need to figure out the best way that we can help this man. So that brings me to the work of Loretta J. Ross. And I came across some of her lectures when we were in lockdown during the pandemic. Remember that? Everybody remember that? Fun times. No, not fun times. I lost about 10 people that year from my life. So anyway, Loretta J. Ross is fascinating to me because she works with what she calls the calling in culture. Not calling out and not cancel culture, but calling people in. Call them in because, what's going to help is not just hating neo-Nazis. She was an activist working with deprogramming the thought processes and the habits that have been ingrained in the neo-Nazi brain. And so that's an extraordinarily brave field of work. And I commend the way that she speaks, the way that she addresses these things, and how she's saying that it's not just going to help to turn around and hate Kanye, as much as it might be easy or fun to do that. Are we then part of the problem? And at that point, how many people can you hate? How much hate is enough hate, And so anyway, she talks about that we have to go in and actually work with these people and learn how to live with and move with and change with these people. And if we can be willing to change to approach them, they might be willing to change to approach us. So it's not going to do just to call someone a Nazi and then hate them as a Nazi. We have to figure out how to actually deprogram that kind of bigotry and racism. And that's not easy work. It's not pretty work, but it's very rewarding. And we all have to address our own feelings toward that, right? Look at the work of Dr. Resmaa Menakem, who wrote My Grandmother's Hands. I mean, there are all sorts of different takes on this. And of course, this has been an ongoing battle for a long time. And Kanye, right? Didn't he start wanting to rap about Jesus and being spiritual? And did Jesus tell you to hate and kill Jews and threaten people on Twitter? And I just don't know. That's hard to buy. It's hard to buy. So I think that's maybe the tentacle of celebrity and status and maintaining status. And a lot of that just runs a chill up my spine because I couldn't be less interested. And yet I have to spend my time thinking about all these people. I can spend my time I can make episodes talking about these people and their blunders, and these fools. He wanted us to call him Ye. Yay! But I think we should have called him Khan, because that's what he's been doing to people. I mean, am I wrong? So Not to get too cliche here, but let's get too cliche. It just reminds me of, a great song by one of my favorite songwriters. One love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright.